Welcome. Welcome to the Royal Gypsy Hood. My name is Rafamama. Coming to you live, center stage. Here to talk about a lot of things on my mind, I just want to start this out by pulling a miracle card. I speak with confidence because the world needs my light. I like that. I speak in confidence because the world needs my light. I got a tickle in my throat. Oh my goodness. And this is fluorite, which I intuitively was drawn to. There is a story behind the fluorite. Now, when I got the fluorite, I knew it felt so amazing right here, okay? Now, I am going to read something that I read that I was like, that's exactly the description of, that's a perfect way to describe it, right? It says, green fluorite adds growth and nature energies to the properties of fluorite. Growth and nature energies to the properties of the fluorite by it being green, okay? It clears negative energy from any environment and brings cleansing, renewal, and a spring-like freshness to the chakras. It inspires. So that was the part that I was like, oh, yes, that's exactly how it feels, like a waterfall, right? It says from any environment, it clears negative energy from any environment and brings a cleansing renewal. It does feel like just these, renewing waters that is just like that feeling, and a spring-like freshness to the chakras. It feels so good right now that the snow has been melting. There's like this humidity in the air, and it feels like, good for the pores or something. It inspires new ideas, originality, and quick thinking, particularly healing to the heart chakra. This mineral permits information to rise from the subconscious and helps the emotional body understand issues of the heart. Flowing from my heart are the issues of my heart. It's a beautiful song. It's gratefulness. Oh, it's a powerful song. Now, I want to look that shit up. See. Grateful, 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 grateful. Let me look this up. I apologize that I can't see comments or anything if anyone is watching, and look this stuff up at the same time.
Checking in. How's your business going?
That's gonna be our meditation. Gratefulness. I am gonna do a meditation later, a release, what I want to draw and what I want to release. And if you're watching, I guess you're, doing it with me in alignment. I do need something to write with. I'm the right with Lil Red. Grateful for the things that you have done. I'm grateful for the victories we won. I could go on and on and on about your word. Because I'm grateful, grateful, grateful. Praise you, Lord. Flowing from my heart. This was for the heart, right? Shoes up. And it did talk about flowing, right? Well, I guess I talked about flowing. Like waters that flow. Oh my God. The same card that I already had sitting on here from the last time that I picked it. And then you just watched me do that. And I got this card again. Grateful for the victories we've won. I could go on and on and on about your word. Because I'm grateful, grateful, so grateful just to praise you, Lord.
Lift your hands and say, flowing from my heart.
Flowing from my heart are the issues of my heart is gratefulness. Oh, so I do not have rights to this music. I'm like, wait a second. Do I need to say that? Grateful, 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 grateful. I can't see comments. Like, I don't know where they are. It used to look different. It's flowing from my heart. Grateful, 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 gratefulness. It's flowing from my heart. Gratefulness. Grateful, 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 gratefulness. It's flowing from my heart. So we're bringing to us magnetically gratefulness. We are releasing grateful, grateful, grateful. It's flowing from my heart. We are releasing. This card came up several times when This card came up several times.
So you want your website to be stunning.
Hold on, I gotta put that down.
Just go to Wix.com.
Skip the ad and let's just pause. Make sure it doesn't like autoplay, which it is. So let's pause that. All right. Bam. We are releasing old hurts. We are releasing I want to say the old patterns of hurts, old patterns of hurt, pain, same thing. The old patterns of pain and disharmony. And what is the word that I'm looking for here? Like estrangement, but like, you know, separation, division. Because I am magnetic. Because I am magnetic. I release. And I draw or attract. Okay. So there we go. We have Mars in Gemini conjuncting the moon in Gemini conjuncting Aldebaran. I would love to go into some study of Aldebaran. I am the professional student, okay? The medical astrology behind Aldebaran, Marumatu is the one to listen to when it comes to those fixed stars. But anyhow, yeah, somebody mentioned anxiety, how much they're feeling anxiety right now. And yeah, Mars and Gemini, anxiety of the mind. That's exactly what the card, you know, the tarot card represents. Anyway, I don't want to look it up. I release gossip. You know, and when I say that, I say protection against gossip, right? Or let's see. I want to put that in the what I'm drawing then. You know, the gaslighting kind of, you know, the information that gets passed through wires, right? And you know how when you play telephone with people, you know, and the message in the beginning compared to the message at the end, you know, and then the string of people, the network of people, they get tied into that message, right? That misinformation. I gossip, let's say misinformation, okay? Misinformation, and that can be from either our personal understanding or that which has been corrupted through you know, a network, or you know, misinformation, yeah, like I said, personal, you know, the way that you computed based upon your software, you know, if you're still, you know, working on certain downloads, we all are. So we draw to ourselves brotherhood and sisterhood. Okay, we draw to ourselves balance. You know, we release anxiety. Mars can be very, of course, it's the head, it's the adrenal glands. So we release, you know, I want to say survival, but what's a better way to put that? Fight or flight. And we attract serenity, peace and serenity. But more importantly, harmony between the yin and the yang, right? The Gemini twins. And creativity, because it's a perfect, hey, this was just on the top. I did not, it's a perfect union. Creativity, unity, / love. And with that, we would release well, with creativity, we would say destruction. And with unity, love, I don't want to say hate, but I want to say we already said division and disharmony hurts. So with gratefulness, we'll put that in with unity, with unity and love with gratefulness. And yeah. So here we go. Let's see. I don't think I even want to do any of that. There was so much that I was reading on, and I'm just like, that's exactly what needed to be done today. Right there. It's exactly what needed to be done today. I'll do a reading. So this is what I'm going to do, is that I'm going to take this and I'm going to this list. By the way, the person who was feeling anxiety had this transit going through their 6th house, right? Relating to health, in your body. So I am going to, and you might, also be having this transit, or you might be having a square to your Mercury. And so it's important that we put into power, into action, the highest level of the vibration. The new moon was in Aries, and I was feeling like I'm not in order, like I'm late. You're never late, okay? Apparently, Spirit didn't want me to put into practice my rituals. I just came from being outside, and I did my ritual in my entire, backyard, and walked through my home and just cleansed the energy, right? Protected the space, from the lower vibrations, from coming in, and drawing and attracting, because I am magnetic. What are you creating? You're either creating or destroying, right? Through the mind. Okay, number 9, the 9 of swords, being and when I did look up Aldebaran, a lot of it was dealing with war and stuff too, of course. And then we've got Mars there, and we've got the moon, so it's stirring up the emotions, the imaginations that can come with the watery energy mixed with the survival, instincts of Mars to either create or destroy, whether it's threatened or it's empowered. And so it's important during this time. And like I said, between the Aries new moon that we just had and today, with this conjunction, I don't even, at least today is when I really was, I don't know, I didn't even pay attention to exact timings and all that stuff. This is a fucking Reiki flow, okay? We can get super technical with the shit, or we can just receive the messages. And yeah, it is important if you're doing predictive astrology and stuff like that. But for me, this is all about the spiritual growth. I want to read the Mars and Gemini. But anyway, like I was saying, what are we going to create today and now? By the releasing. So throughout the last couple days, it's just been about like, oh, how have you noticed this energy come into your life? Have you been bickering with anybody? It doesn't have to even be a big deal, but if it's even like, and for some people it could be, again, if it's manifesting in your body, what are the tools that you are using to protect yourself and guard yourself so that you can operate in the highest vibration of this energy and fucking ride that wave and master that shit? I call upon myself, I magnetize to myself gratefulness, unity, and love, brotherhood and sisterhood, balance, harmony, serenity, and peace, and creativity, and a, intellectual sustenance instead of survival. you know um, instead of the survival instinct. Now that I do want to look up. So define for me sustenance. No, sorry. Sustenance. Food or drink regarded as source of strength, nourishment, food. So that's how we're surviving. That's how we're feeding ourselves. Fair diet, nutrition. What are you feeding your mind, right? With these imaginations, the conjunctions of the moon, what are you feeding your mind? Rations, provisions, means. So then we're also talking about breaking it down, not allowing, like, yes, these thoughts come into our mind. Yes, these thoughts come into our mind. Yes, we can always look back, um, and worry about that hurt, that pain, that trauma, that division that we once experienced. Yes, we can trigger ourselves into a fight or flight, or destroy our relationship, or the way that we communication. So this is what we effective communication. But more than effective, we want it to be graceful. Okay, and we release the stabs of that sword, sword of the mouth, the sword of the tongue. Oh my goodness. The sword of the tongue. Oh my goodness. Now we're going to look that up. For the word of God is living and active, sharper than the two-edged sword, piercing to the division of soul and spirit, of joint and marrow, and discerning. Thoughtless speech is like the stab of a sword, but a tongue of the wise is healing. Yes. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. I think that was Proverbs 12:18. Thoughtless speech is like the stabs of a sword, but the tongue of the wise is healing. We all in our process, okay? Because I love to talk some shit. Because I'm intellectual about my shit talking. So, you got to have that whip behind it. That whip that whips like that. So I hope this is the explanation. Oh, that's something else. Okay. There we go. The double-edged sword is the verse that's talking about the word. So, whether we relate that word to being the Bible, or if we're relating that word to being, the words that we speak from our mouths, the spells that we create. So I forgot what I was going to write down here now. So sharp. I'm just going to say sharp communications. We're releasing that. Because I am magnetic. And at the same time, we are still maintaining our independence. We are still maintaining truth and integrity to ourselves, and we can still speak strong and confidently, right? Because I speak with confidence, or I speak with confidence because the light needs, or the world needs my light. And so when you speak with confidence too, there's no need to argue, right? There's no need for any of that kind of like bicker, or, you just stay in your vibration. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. I like the way that ended up going. Let me put this back up because I can't even see myself. Can't see comments. I can't see myself. Again, an Aries oil I haven't even been using it, but I'm about to put it in my diffuser, is black pepper and the citrusy kind of oils. So bergamot, I have been using that today in my work, and like just wild orange and grapefruit. Those are all good to mix with that, black pepper too, for protection. The ritual that I did was to protect my home, my territory, outside of my home. Do these things, and write, um, on paper what it is how it is that the words that we've been given this blessing of the ability to create with words. In the beginning was the word, and Aries is the beginning, and Gemini is the word, and the vibrations that we create with our word and sound, if you sing them, right? The tone in which you speak these words, right? And intuitively tapping into the feeling of the moon that is conjuncting, the positive aspects, the positive feelings of the moon that is conjuncting Mars, that is birth, that is newness, that is life, that is the blood, DNA that gets passed down through generations, converting in energy through energy. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? I'm just thinking about the whole birthing process now, like the sperm being like, the way DNA gets passed through different people, but you came in as a sperm. You came in as energy before you started to form, and that's amazing that blood converts from energy to new birthed energy, repeatedly, it like the humidity goes up to the clouds and then falls down, right? And it's all water, and so it is as well when your body leaves this earth and you go down into the dirt, and your blood is no longer in your physical capsule here, body, but it gets passed down into the next generation that continues to give birth, that is an extension of your blood. That's fucking amazing, man. That's where brotherhood and sisterhood comes in. Cousins and friendships. I'm going to put that with brotherhood and sisterhood. So, you might want to comprise your own list, or you might take this list for yourself. And I would say take it and go into meditation, fold it, burn it if you want, however you feel led to. I don't like to put too much criteria or rules around what you intuitively are led to do, yeah, or you might want to keep it, but just continuously use it as a reminder, and repeat it, over and over. You might want to do this for a week and then do a ritual and throw it in a fire later, when you intuitively feel led to do so. So with that being said, my friends, Nanu, should I do a reading? Should I do like a full reading? I want to. I'm going to be using this because I need it. Because even if I'm not being like emotionally, so you might be off balance, you might be, being too intellectual or too, mental about a circumstance, and you might even be obsessively. For me, I'm feeling more detached to stuff, but obviously off balance, because the compassion part, from the moon, should be a little bit balanced out there. And so you have to be honest with yourself. How are you operating right now? And then, something that came to mind earlier too was that blessing your enemies. So if you are feeling negative energy, and if you are feeling like darkness, right? Like you're, even if it a spiritual battle, whether it's with real people or if it's life situations, however it's showing up on your chart, but particularly, any of this relational stuff, right? Negative energies, right? Take a moment to get out of the survival mode and to engulf that person, or situation, because it could be like misinformation from bank, or, things like whatever it is that puts us off into that fight or flight. Picture that situation in your mind, meditate on it, and send love to it. And loving words and nurturing, whatever it is that can heal, to help to heal that energy. It doesn't, and the thing is, you don't even have to talk to that person, or it could be somebody that you don't even know, that you just came across. It might have had a run-in, or whatever the situation. Like I said, you send love to your bank account, whatever tech problem there might be, you look at that situation as if you are in relationship to it, right? And you engulf it with your love, with your compassion, and with your understanding, and from a clear, objective mentality, take the opportunity to transmute that energy into a higher frequency of that vibration. I release patterns of old hurts, pains, disharmony, division, gossip or misinformation, anxiety, fight or flight, destruction, survival instinct. I want to say, because, Mercury was just retrograde too. So I want to say also, well, I think it just goes under the misinformation period, because like I said, it doesn't have to be synonymous with gossip, misinformation in general, through any form. Survival instinct and sharp communications. or deadly communications. Okay. Send peace to your adrenal glands. Send peace to your throat chakra, because we speak, you know, swords. Mars is fire, you know, not air. It's blending that fire with the sword, you know, with the air. Like I said, spend your time with these words. And here's an example. A restaurant that is not technically allowed to have rides in the parking lot by law was able to find a loophole by how they presented it, like as patio, because there's tables or something on, you know, in the Ferris wheel, and so they're able to present it as like patio space, right? And therefore, the magic of the words was able to birth this beautiful, you know, idea of this, you know, and the view in as entertainment and ambiance for the restaurant, right? Versus if they said, you know, on paper through the words that it was a ride, then it would bring death, destruction to their idea. And so that is why through our words, we can make a choice to how we can bring light confidently to a situation. Because I am magnetic. I can draw those ideas to me. Ideas. I want to say creativity and ideas. These words are very powerful. I think I'm personally, I got to put my symbols on here, Mars and Gemini. I am going to be meditating on these words for the entire time that Mars is in Gemini. This stone, back to my story, I thought I was done. I knew when I saw it, I wanted this to be a choker for me. It felt so good and so healing. And then I have 2 other stones that will come off of it, white and black, right? Yin and yang. Oh my God, do you see this? So, I have not created my piece of jewelry yet, although I have the pieces. And I'm just new at it. So, you know, I'm slow. So that's part of what I am also drawing to me is motivation. Initiation. Initiation. Okay. So what's the opposite of that? I want to say fatigue. Procrastination. And distractions. Okay, because our minds are too busy moving around. Our heads. Get a head massage, my friends. So I am going to be meditating on this for the entire time that Mars is in Gemini. I see how it has manifested around me and my energy, even though I don't have any planets in Gemini. Okay, however, Gemini does transit my 7th house, and we are having these 2 full moons in Libra. So we're talking about this is how you use the planets to master yourself and your energies, to create, to enter the dimension, in which you choose to live in terms of atmosphere, and environment, in your physical body, just like the atmosphere and environment of the soil for the plants. Okay. It will make you more youthful, baby. And yeah, like I said, balance in relationships, harmony, truth, right? Libra is the truth, justice. Is supposed to represent the truth, right? But sometimes if, misinformation happens, the truths can be distorted. So with the opposite of misinformation there too, I want to add truths. See, I didn't even put an opposite for that. A lot of our anxieties come from our perception of the truth, which is not always true. Or maybe it was true at some point, in one of the loops that you, experienced. But now, as we're constantly increasing, raising our vibration, it is no longer the truth. You are a new creation. I'm going to do a quick reading. I honestly don't even feel like I really need to. But I had a really good time doing readings the other day. The cards that I want to use aren't even here. So I don't even want to do that. Maybe I will do an angel card. Gemini is air, and air is powerful. Air is what brings force to sound, right? It brings, it carries sound through the air, Air carries sound. There we go. And even the air, as we breathe it into our lungs and we blow it out, Sometimes when I do massage therapy and I release, when I'm working on somebody and like say I'm like going down their back or something, I release it through the air as well. Like I have these visual pictures, that come into my mind, and I'm imagining like the air kind of like sweeping across, forcefully, but like say there's lumps, and so, and the air just like sweeps, anything away so that it's like a flat surface. That's just a visualization that I get. But anyways, like, when I'm in deep meditation and while I'm working, the like another set of hands or something. I don't know. Like, I don't breathe on people, but, you know, I make sure I keep my distance, and I still, you know, have that visualization, and it helps me to smooth everything out. Like, I swear to God, like, the moment that I do that, it ends up, it's like in sync. I don't know what it is. I really don't. But your air is literally life. It's life giving to the plants, you know. So again, that exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide, you know, giving life to the twins, you know, like, you know, exchanging back and forth, you know. So that's like another way to look at it. Yeah, I was going to pick a card, right? The Swan Queen, transformation, intuition, and patience. So we are in this place where we are most definitely transforming our old triggers, you know. You know, patience, Aries, patience, fire. We're adding the moon, the nurturing mother. And that is how we're transforming destruction and violence, the violence of the tongue, amongst other things. My dog needs me, so it's totally time to go. The Lady of the Mirror. Again, the Gemini. Looking back. And, you know, Libra as well. Balance and order between the two. Reflection and non-judgment. Number 44. And actually the first one is number 13. 1 and 3 is 4. Oh, I like this 4. Yo, you know what's crazy? So we're moving on from the 3. We are moving past this 3 to a firmer foundation. When I did the ritual outside of my home, I went 4 times. Usually I do 3, or, you know, like there's a number that will come. This time was 4. It was 1, 2 with the sage on each corner, on the 4 corners. 1, 2 again with the sage. And I thought, you know, surprised. I was kind of surprised at myself that I stopped there, that I didn't do it 6 times, you know, meaning 3, you know. Do it again. Psh. That's what we're releasing. We're releasing this inner conflict of duality, the dragon's duel. Okay, your inner conflict. Reflection, non-judgment of yourself. Reflection, non-judgment, transformation, intuition, and patience. Inner conflict, morality, operating on principles, right? There's a couple of things that I felt like I was operating on principle, you know, conscious choice, you know. But if it causes an unstable, you know, foundation, you know, is it worth it? You know, we want all 4 corners, all 4 pillars, stably, stable, you know, stably rooted and firmly supporting us, right? So that we are supported to create with the light that we bring. and no longer destroying in our, you know, ourselves within this compulsiveness for self-preservation. Until next time, my friends, nanu nanu, and peace be unto you.